There was a time when every Christian knew by heart all the 10 Commandments. Children had to learn them before being admitted to confirmation and First Communion. Probably, we learnt them without knowing the meaning of all the words. Many people were quite happy to use this old yardstick to examine their lives, though with the coming of Christ, something new and better had taken place. If we stick to the old, we will be left behind, going around in candlelight even after the advent of electricity. Therefore, we shall wisely look at the old and the new. Listen, Israel. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Listen, followers of Christ, new people of God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of darkness and evil and led you into the land of light, truth, and goodness. You were once slaves of sin. Now you are to live in the freedom of the children of God. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange God before me. I am the Lord your God, but I am not a strange and distant God. I am your friend, guide, and counselor. If you let me have the first place in your lives, you will never be disappointed. All idols will eventually betray you. Money is the most common of all idols. You cannot serve me and money. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. From now on, I want you to call me by a new name. Call me Father. Let it be the first word on your lips in the morning and the last at night. Pronounce it not in fear, but in love. Invoke it in praise, in thanks, as well as in making your needs known to me. Your names are written on the palm of my hand. Remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. Remember that all days belong to the Lord and are to be made holy by the lives you live. But let the first day of the week, Sunday, be a sign that God has the first place in your life. This is the day Christ your brother broke the chains of death and rose in triumph from the grave. On this day you should assemble in prayer and worship to remind yourselves that you are a people on pilgrimage to the promised land of the resurrection. The Sabbath is already a foretaste of the joy to come. Honor thy father and thy mother. Love your father and mother, those precious souls through whom you were invited to the banquet of life. Take care of them when they are old and feeble and fall victim to loneliness. But do not love your own family to the exclusion of others. All those who listen to the word of God and live it are members of a wider family, the family of the followers of Jesus. Thou shalt not kill. You must not hurt your brother in any way. Be compassionate, as your Father is compassionate. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Give a full measure, and you will receive a full measure from God in return. And do not limit your love to your friends only. Love your enemies too. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who speak evil against you. Thou shalt not commit adultery. It is not enough to be faithful to your marriage partner. You must love him or her as you would love yourself. Mere physical fidelity is no longer enough. Aim at fidelity of the heart and soul. If there is no love, then even with fidelity, marriage is like a fireplace without a fire. Thou shalt not steal. There are various ways of stealing besides the obvious one. If you pile up and hoard goods that you do not need, while at the same time your brother is in need, that is a form of stealing. The good of the earth was meant for all of God's children. Each is entitled to what he or she needs in order to be able to lead a life of dignity. So I say to you, give to everyone who asks. Share your bread with the hungry, clothe the naked. Open your doors to the lonely and the homeless, and God's light will shine on you. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Be a light to your brother, not a source of darkness, causing him to stumble and fall. Let your words build him up, support him, comfort him, console him. Then you will be like manna in his desert. If you can find nothing good to say about him, then remain silent. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. You cannot commit adultery in thought and desire as well as in deed. Adultery is in the heart, in the desire to possess. Strive, therefore, to keep your heart pure. All a person's thoughts, words, and deeds flow from what is in the heart, like water from a hidden spring. If a spring is clean, then the water that flows from it will be good to drink. If your heart is unpolluted by evil, then you will be able to see God in all that is good, beautiful, and desirable in the world. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Do not lay up treasures here on earth. Be on your guard against greed of any kind. What good would it do you to gain the whole world if you lost your soul? Strive, rather, to make yourselves rich in the sight of God. If you covet anything that is your neighbor's, let it be his kindness of heart and gentleness of manner. Do not obey these commandments out of fear, but out of love. And if you find 10 of them too many to remember, you can reduce them to 2. Love God with all your heart and all your soul. Love your neighbor as yourself. However, it is not a question of whether or not you can recite the commandments by heart, but whether you live by them.